This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to episode 266 of the Countdown Podcast, where you will now find two bitches back in the same studio doing a podcast. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul. Yes, in case any members of the West Australian Police Force, our hats are off to you for the wonderful job that you are doing are listening. We are 1.5 metres and more away.
Easily.
Having stretched to the nth degree of the studio. But it is nice to be back in person. Did you know? The last few weeks we're done? 5 weeks, I think.
Yes.
We're done remotely. If you didn't,
That's
yay my
Paul's
editing.
tight-ass editing. That's it. Very nice.
The sound effect we should always come out with tight ass is mentioned. Did I say my name is Paul?
You
My
did
name
say it.
is Paul. It is, and welcome to the episode of the show, even where we count down movies and sometimes television in awesomeness. Awesome.
Order of awesomeness.
That's the one.
It's been a day of recording, everyone.
It has.
There's been a few drinks.
There has been a couple of drinks. I do apologise for that.
It's going to be fun.
So you don't have to make the tough decisions on what to watch next. We don't often say that part, but today we are. And today is an episode which is, well, it's all about mysterious shit.
Yes, we decided to count down the top 10. I'm sure we'll come up with this title later.
Movie mysteries.
Movie mysteries.
Bam! That's it. Simple.
But not you understand? Not mystery movies.
No, that's why
The
movie
mystery
comes first.
within a mystery. Exactly.
Yes.
Within a movie. And it's
No,
just...
some of mine are mysteries in movies. Some of mine are...
Oh, yeah, sure. Like, as part of the
but
plot,
it-
which you don't
But
know.
it didn't have to be that way. Well, it didn't have to be top 10 murder mysteries. And this was thanks to Sally Vaughan, patron extraordinaire of
That's
the show,
right.
who said, do the top 10 murder mysteries. And so we extrapolated a little bit, made it a little bit
Little
wider.
English on it. Little English on it.
That's exactly the phrase that we should be using. So we hope you're going to enjoy this one. And it's been a fun list to put together. I did a lot of research to kind of work out
Lots and lots of research. And also just opinions. You know, stuff I've always wanted to know.
Very personal. And we did get a little bit of heat during the week from Cameron Petty, who said, just fucking vote every week so there's more listener engagement. Okay, this week, votes on. Votes on.
Cool.
4-3, I am up on the season, i.e. the year, if you will. And it's very, very close. I think closer than it's ever been, where our listeners are coming together to suggest that basically week in, week out is pretty much the same
Yeah.
over a long period of time. If you toss a coin in the air, heads or tails, do it long enough, it will end up being exactly the same.
It's a little that weird.
Yeah.
But that's
But
cool. Lovely.
It's cool.
There.
It's nice that it's become a two-horse race rather than me just steaming through for the win like in year one, where you were just like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a shit. Dick on the table. Ha ha ha, you don't like my dick? What?
That's right. It was exactly how it went. And frankly, I remember it well. Fondly.
All right, we kick off every episode with a segment that we call The Recount. Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount? Who wants a recount?
What on earth happened online, Paul?
Well, what happened online was Wayne, for the first time in the history of the show, went on someone else's show by his lonesome.
I did. I went solo because usually I have to have Paul with me to one, edit what I say live, which
That
you
is
can't
true.
do when I'm on someone else's show, and two, set up all the tech because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Paul is basically doing everything.
Not
so
true.
pretty
No,
much,
not
pretty
true.
much everything.
I'm the tech, you're the talent.
A lot of people would disagree with that. Okay, so so I went on Gerald's show and we counted down.
Which is called?
Two Peas on a Podcast.
That is
Sorry.
indeed.
We counted down my top 5 Tom Cruise films.
And to say there was a curveball thrown in there would be the understatement of the year. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you can't have heard this yet unless you're a patron of Two Peas on a Podcast, but
It's coming.
what you can actually do is sign up to be a patron of the show and hear it, but if not, subscribe to Gerald's show. It will come up in due course, probably within the next month, I'm sure.
A couple of weeks.
So that was great to hear it. I have listened to the episode. A lot of fun, including how much I got it wrong, what I predicted you would have as your number one. So
Yes.
well done to you all, sir.
Things changed, man. Tom Cruise changed and the times changed. It's all new.
All right, then. But from that, we did have Michelle D, who said, thanks to Gerald at Two Peas on a Pod, bringing Wayne over to talk about Tom Cruise. I have discovered your podcast and just listened to this week's episode, which I loved.
Oh,
I look forward to checking out some past episodes, especially some of these top 10s.
cool.
So-
a new listener.
Yeah, and then Michelle said, followed up a day or so later and said 2 days later, having lots of fun listening to the top 10s. The both of you are quite nuts and make for an enjoyable podcast listen. And I'm so pleased to see that Paul and I have a very cool show in common. Buffy GIF. Yeah.
Oh, Buffy fan. Very nice.
Which is absolutely lovely.
No polls on.
Now, this is a reference to one of the review shows, which we did last week, Extraction. Dan is not the problem on Twitter said, Extraction is greater than John Wick 2.
Easy.
Not
Easy.
89 good, but much better than 56.
I'll take it.
My response was, Dan, you are the problem. Stop lying to us with your name on Twitter.
Oh, man, that's so the case. Extraction? Because he's using different moves every time. It's not John Wick, I'm saying.
And then let's have a review. We haven't had a review for a while to round out this week's recount. Short one for you. This comes from They Make My Day. Sometimes I double up on this podcast in my playlist. Careful, Wayne. The soundboard makes me laugh. Vindication!
Cherry picking these reviews, are we?
I wish I could only cherry pick the ones that had soundboard mentions, pro soundboard. During the episode about hottest love scenes, I was surprised that they didn't have a female guest, but even more surprised that every one of my picks was mentioned. It may be the fact that we grew up in the same era, but I really get them. Thanks for separating reviews from the list so I don't get so many spoilers.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was like a call that we made 2 years ago?
A year and a half ago. Give or take.
Nice
15,
work.
16 months ago. Thank you. That was from Listen to Ya One in the US. Really appreciate that.
I feel like Listen to Ya One is a female from that review.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But if you're not,
Which I love.
or you are, we would love to hear either way.
Please.
Hit us up on one of the social media avenues and
We want it all.
Acknowledge thereof. So that's the recap for this week. Thanks so much for your feedback. Let's get into the topic proper on the other side of this music cue. The top 10 movie mysteries. Ba-ba. Made it so more mysterious.
I don't know why. I don't know why I did that.
I love you so much, can't count all the ways I died for you, girl, and all they can say is he's not your kind. They never get tired of putting me down, and I never know when I come around what I'm gonna find. Don't let them make up your
The top 10 movie mysteries.
Very nice.
Is the topic of this week. And not at all my second take. Wayne, how did you go about this list?
Oh, man. I think everyone's going to have issues with mine, and you're going to have issues with mine, and I'm having issues with mine because I became... When you start looking for, start remembering... Damn it, what you're doing here is you're just like... There's questions I've always had about movies. They may not be a mystery for the ages, but I'm using this list as a time to air the best things that ever perplexed me or just fucked around with my shit. All right? So that's my list here. I don't even know about the order.
Stupid, but ballsy.
I think... Is that not how you went, Vag?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good.
Not sure I should have agreed to respond to that when you called me Fadge, but anyway.
Vag.
Largely. The temptation is to go the best murder mysteries, right? And I've got a couple of those in here, the ones that really fooled me as to what was going on. But generally, I went with some ones that left me hanging.
Yeah. Right. I have an answer to one or two of mine. I don't have an answer to a lot of them.
And maybe, because in the research that we both have purported that we did, in your case, Wayne, maybe we'll have some answers for the listeners as well, which is what makes this topic particularly fun, I think. All right, Wayne, take us away then. Your number 10, movie mystery. Damn
Okay.
it. Oh, sorry, let me do that again. Movie mystery.
I can't even count how much that added to it. Well done. Okay, everyone, this is Wackadoodle-Doo. No, it's not. It's just a little weird, okay? Check it out. Fight Club. All right? Let's talk about Fight Club. Now, it's not a lot. Like, there's a lot of mysteries that happen in Fight Club, but this is a subtle under kind of one that not many people noticed, and I kind of wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
In the Fight Club universe, all right? So you know Tyler Durden doesn't actually exist, okay? We obviously see him. He's Brad Pitt, but he's actually just a figment of Ed Norton's imagination, right? And I just realized that Ed Norton's character is unnamed.
Unnamed, yeah.
Very weird. Okay, so here's the thing. There's a scene where Ed Norton chases Helena Bonham Carter out onto the street. Just not chases, just like they're talking and he comes up around her. And behind him, it's a movie screen that they've obviously walked out of. And on there says 7 Years in Tibet.
A Brad Pitt movie?
A Brad Pitt movie. So that means in this world, Brad Pitt and Brad Pitt movies exist in the world, right? And that means...
Does that mean that he internalized...
I think he's used Brad Pitt as an avatar for Tyler Durden. But that's
pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? It's like a whole new layer on the show, right? So then it's like, whoa, does that mean he's a Brad Pitt fan? And that the Brad Pitt we're seeing is actually the Brad Pitt in his head who's an actor, not Tyler Durden? Oh, damn. Blown mind.
I have to say, what I've just realised about the soundboard is there's very few sound bites which reflect positively on what you have to say.
Yeah, because
I wanted to go, well done, sir, well done. And I'm like, I've got no options.
Exactly. I can give you a few.
So that's a good choice. I like the one that kicks off very, very nicely.
Well done. Okay, so there you go. Okay, cool. So go. Your number 10, son.
My number 10 is maybe the most one of the most traditional ones. Traditional as in longest running ones on my list. Okay,
There's
so
many of those on
and it's not even a film I love. I like the film just fine, but I came to it too late. I'm not a big fan of the sequel because it's so long. It's longer than Dennis Rodman's cock.
If you can imagine such a thing.
It's Blade Runner. Is Deckard a replicant?
Okay, obviously this is on my list, and
It is.
It's
Okay.
way high. It's way high. Okay.
Now, and I'll tell you why it got low after you tell me why it's high on your list.
Okay. The reason it's high on my list is yes, everyone talks about this shit, right? Like it's a mystery for the ages. Now, you would think that Blade Runner 2049 would answer the question, but it didn't.
But it kind of doesn't, right?
It doesn't at all.
Steps around it very nimbly.
Well, here's the problem
Nimbly?
with that.
Nimbly?
Yeah, well, kind of, because what it does was like in 2049, Blade Runner, like Ryan Gosling, Rygos is a
Not Ryan,
No,
because
not
Ryan is Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly, he can't be a replicant. But Rygos is in that movie, right? He's a replicant that's being
which
a
is
Blade
revealed,
Runner.
what, 30? No, not even that, 20 minutes in, give or take.
That's right. So now you talk and you see Deckard, who's now old, and replicants aren't supposed to live past 4 years. But the idea is he may be some aberration where he can bypass the mortality thing.
Plot's like, he has a kid, right?
Yeah, he had a kid with Sean Young, who was also
Oh, a
definitely a replicant.
Right.
So not only can replicants not supposed to multiply, but they can, and he did. So that would lend theory to
He's not.
that he's not. However,
But then how did she... Is it really Sean Young's?
Yeah.
Whatever her name is in the film, I can't remember.
Rachel, Rebecca, something.
Yep.
Rachel. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what happened. But here's that. So that itself is weird, and it depends on what cut of Blade Runner you get. Where you
Right.
actually, so there's one with the weird.
Right, and if I can
ending.
wait in here, here's why it's 10 for me.
Why?
Because Ridley Scott has gone on record numerous times, now 3 in fact, is saying Deckard is definitely a replicant.
Yes. And I've actually seen the video of where he does it. He goes, he's a replicant. He actually kind of whispers
Which is
it.
why I dropped it down, because if we didn't have that confirmation, so to speak, perspective from the director, I would be like, oh, well, it's up in the air. And this was originally my number 4, and I dropped it all the way down to 10 when I read that, because I'm like, well, if the director's saying this, it doesn't matter what Harrison Ford thinks.
Wait a
He's
minute.
just an actor.
Okay, I got something else.
All right, please.
Hampton Fancher,
The writer?
who was a writer for Blade Runner and 2049,
Yep.
agrees with Ford.
Oh, well, that does make
That's
it,
weird now, right?
No,
So
it
it's
should
like
be
the
high on my list. Damn it.
Yeah, I know, but it's a weird thing. It's okay, but it's like this is what makes it so good, and the fact that there is a version which shows you he's not a replicant and that she's.
Well, it's all about the origami unicorn, right?
Yeah, I mean, God, you know what? I've seen
How does what's his name? I can't remember now. Off the top of my
the
head.
Japanese dude.
Gaff. No.
What's his name?
James Earl Jones. No, James.
Samuel Jones.
Edward James Olmos.
yeah.
Because they are completely interchangeable.
Absolutely. The only guy, Edward James Almost,
Yeah.
is the guy from what's his name? Desperado. What's his name? The Mexican dude who looks like a.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't tell you his name.
Anyway,
off
go
the
ahead.
Yeah, because he can lead. How does he know what Harrison Ford's dreaming about? That's weird as fuck. He's a replicant. Because
Right.
it's neurally implanted.
But is it a coincidence that he made a fucking
No,
unicorn?
come on.
Because in one cut of the movie, there's no fucking unicorn.
Well, in that case.
So see, that's
yes.
like all these answers.
Yeah.
It's a real shitter, and that's why this is huge.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
It's
yeah.
on both our lists.
Both
There we
our
are.
lists, both
All
our
right,
lists.
Cool. Your number 9, sir.
My number 9 is okay. Some people have brought this up. I don't know. The Matrix.
Go on. I'm very sensitive about the Matrix.
I understand, and this is something that I think I thought about this, or someone talked to me about it 4 or 5 years after The Matrix came out. Cypher is played by Joey Pants, and he.
Did we talk about this recently?
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we really? Is it?
No, go ahead.
Are
go
we
on.
talking about how does he makes a deal with like those other guys, and he's all like, you should make me an actor, and we're like,
You were like, would you take that deal?
no. This
Okay,
is
there's a
different.
different perspective of the same
No,
thing.
different. No, it's not, because the actual question or the mystery to me is, how did Cypher go into the Matrix without any of the crew knowing what him going in. He's in a ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, another one, right? I think
It's not Nebuchadnezzar?
Maybe it is the Nebuchadnezzar.
I think it is,
right.
yeah. Because he dies before we see any other ships.
And
Yeah.
we've seen that room where they all plug in, all right? It's not big.
Yeah, you have to be in the chair.
Right, and there has to be an operator.
Exactly. How does he get into the Matrix if no one's operating?
That's right. All
Is
he
there
can
an
do is plug
implication that he
thing in his back of his head.
runs it automatically? I think there's a throwaway line about it, right?
There is. This is the closest I've got. So the Wachowski brothers actually say Cypher at the beginning of this scene.
Wachowski siblings.
I'm sorry, is setting up an automated system to allow him to go meet with Agent Smith. As to how he got the jack in his head, we're left to assume he simply reached behind it and jammed it in his head, which is actually quite difficult to do if you look at the angle.
Still, come on, surely.
I know, but I had thought to myself that he left a secured phone ringing from the moment he entered, and maybe that's how he got out and in. But someone would answer that. But the point is, we don't know how that happened. So that's a little mystery for you.
All right.
Cypher.
All right, no, very nice. I think my number 9 is one that's going to strike maybe to your core, but I don't know if you have it on your list because these days we're all very strange and weird. My number 9 is from The Dark Knight and the Joker Origins.
Yes.
Yeah. So he tells how many people in The Dark Knight 4 different stories about his, maybe I'm exaggerating that by one, about his origins, how he got his scars. And that is just a wonderful device as far as I'm concerned.
Because you don't know.
Because you don't know.
And now no one
And there's
knows.
a moment towards the end of the film where it looks like maybe he's reaching out to Batman and he's going to tell him and then gets interrupted. Mm-hmm. And we never know.
Yep.
And tragically, obviously we lost Heath Ledger and so he wasn't recast. His character wasn't in The Dark Knight.
There's no way Nolan would recast that. No way.
No, and nor should he have. So I think they made the correct decision. And that makes it more mysterious. It makes it better to not know, to have this... Whoa, which of those, and are they a combination thereof of those stories?
That's the thing. Even one layer above. What if one of those stories is true or a combination of them?
Some of them are true?
Right?
Yeah.
So now you might know, but you don't know you know. Boom. All right? And the other thing is, that's very Joker. Even in the comics, there's one comic, if you want to look it up, everyone, a graphic novel called The Killing Joke, which does tell of the Joker's kind of canon origin. You still don't know his name, but you know he was a comedian, and it wasn't going well, and some really bad shit happened to him, and he got nuts and... Yeah, long story.
So see 2019's Joker, apparently, according to Todd Phillips. But anyway.
No, there's no Red Hood. But anyway, long story. But you should check out The Killing Joke. It is one of the best fucking... Alan Grant wrote it. Very, very cool.
One of Wayne's faves.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 9.
Nice. I was looking at a movie called Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
Don't worry. It's not what you think it is.
Whoa.
This is an odd one.
Okay, go on.
The question or the mystery I have is who keyed Vincent's car?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, now I didn't know this before, and this is why I'm bringing it up here. I actually do have this answer.
I do have it too, which is why I didn't make my list.
Okay, good.
And
I
also
understand.
because I have a bigger mystery from Pulp Fiction.
I'm sure that'll come up. All right. But here's the thing. So when Vincent is talking to Eric Stoltz after having gotten his big hit of heroin thing with a big wad in his hand, he's like, some motherfucker keyed it.
My car.
Yeah, right?
And I worth it if I'd have found him.
Exactly.
Keying my car.
Right. I didn't think to myself anything about, I wonder who keyed his car. Because that was supposed to be to show that Vincent's a badass gangster fucking, I want to find the guy who keyed my car and kill him, right? And then I found out.
Fuck him up pretty badly.
Fuck him up pretty bad, right? Then I find out that it's
Butch.
Bruce Willis, who he mouths off to in the thing, I ain't your friend. You heard me, Pokey.
And
right?
that was only recently that
only
Tarantino,
recently.
yeah.
And the only reason we know that shit is because motherfucking Tarantino confirmed it during a radio interview. So I guess I just liked that idea here. And I further like the fact that the Tarantino-verse is actually linked. Like, that's just great.
Oh,
Isn't it considered that it's linked?
Yeah.
To the stage where...
Well, he has the same set of fucking cigarette packets.
Right, but it's all that, and it even refers to himself like Uma
the
Thurman.
Vega Brothers.
Vega Brothers?
Go no further than Vega Brothers.
Easy.
Yeah.
And Uma Thurman talking about the Fox Force 5, and then they represented in Kill Bill.
Yep.
Very cool.
All right, my number 8, good choice. My number 8 is from Zodiac, and this is a bit more traditional kind of murder mystery. And what I like about this is it's based on the real-life Zodiac killings that haunted the Bay Area in the 60s and 70s, and it is full of dead ends and dangling threads. It's disorienting. Yeah. It's ultimately frustrating. And it's too long. This movie is way too fucking long. I don't care how much you love Zodiac.
And David Fincher?
But I think it was deliberate. I think David Fincher wanted this film to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you would share some of the experience that the people working on this...
That's all this movie has, because it, as you were about to point out...
No one ever was
doesn't give you the answer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a hugely good... in a way, but also frustrating mystery.
You pay the price for having watched this movie.
Well, you go on the same journey as Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who thinks he works out who it is, and then the very final title card flashes up. DNA evidence didn't corroborate that. It's like, damn!
So that scene in the guy's cellar or whatever that everyone knows about with that thing, that's when you're just understanding it. That's the guy.
Yep.
And you're just waiting for him
Well,
to
you're
kill.
meant to be, and he gets away with it, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And
So that means he
nothing
didn't
happened.
do it. So what? Yeah, I know.
Well, and then the final title card proves he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. It's whack that something that massive could go unsolved. It's really shitty.
It's just a holy shit ballsy move that Fincher and this film
Just didn't give it to
because
you
they
at
could
the
have given you this bullshit kind of
Everyone thinks it's this guy.
and
know?
probably was him, but he got away with it. No, they didn't. They didn't even do that. They didn't give you that satisfaction. So that's why Zodiac makes my list.
See, nice one. That's nice. Good one. My number what?
7
Is to do with a movie I think we both like, and it's may turn up on your list. But the question is, or the mystery is, what was Daniel Craig's name in Layer Cake?
Oh, that's good.
Right?
Like it.
So
Not on my list, but I
not
like
on
it.
your list. Okay, the character played by Daniel Craig has no name in the movie, and you don't. The whole coolness of the movie is you don't know until the end when he turns around and says something like, "If you knew that," referring to his name, what my name is, if you knew that, you'd be smarter as I am.
Yep.
And then something bad happens. So, we
Let's not spoil a film.
It's not
16
spoiler
years
film.
old.
No, I'm just saying. But if you, so first of all, cleverness to actually when you don't have in the actual script, they had to give him an XXXX name because they just had to refer to him as a
Literally,
script
the
thing.
title card. Sorry, the credits have XXX.
XXX, right? And so the last line of the book is apparently the same as the last line of the movie. I haven't read the
didn't
book.
know there was
I just
a book.
read it.
Really?
There was a book, yep.
Holy shit.
The studio wanted to cut that line, but
So it was written from the first person in the book then.
yes, it was.
But that makes it way more obvious.
Or maybe, I'm not sure, because you could still quote a guy saying that. Oh, no, because he's talking to the camera. He's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
I don't know. Without, as a writer myself,
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can get away with a book that goes, I. That's why you don't know why it wouldn't have the same impact.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you can't do that at the very end. But what Matthew Vaughn says the studio wanted to cut it, but I told him it was really important. And he said the fact that he doesn't have a name is what makes him so different. He's Clint Eastwood riding in on a horse. He doesn't give anything
and Clint
away.
Eastwood is referencing the Fistful of Dollars trilogy where the man with no name.
Yes,
Very famously.
that's what he said. He said he's a chameleon, so this guy becomes whoever. That's why he has no name. So that was it. But I always did think it quite cool. I think we both dug that.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. But I think that was kind of intended in a way. But yeah, still, absolutely. I totally understand what you're saying. My number 7 is another David Fincher film, and I think this will be on your list. It's Gone Girl.
It's not.
What?
Yeah. Wait. What's the mystery? Tell me the mystery.
Well, I think the mystery is what happened to her. I think I've never been so invested in a film. What happened to Amy for the first half of the film? And then, of course, the film gives you the answer. This is where this one...
Oh,
differs.
yeah.
Not all mine are unanswerable.
No, it's good. It's good. Because it is a mystery, and you definitely...
But the film rests on that. And did I legitimately question whether or not Ben Affleck's Nick was guilty? Fuck yes, I
Absolutely.
did.
Of course you did.
Yeah, because he is so... He's not
Shady.
responding the way that he should be responding for a grieving husband who's like, "Where's my wife?"
Plus,
I
he's
need my
banging
wife back.
blurred lines.
Yes, he's banging. He's
So
banging his
you're not
research
supposed
assistant
to...
or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, whatever her name is. So you're not supposed to think he's a good guy. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's like that.
So it's a very cleverly put together. And then you're, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? Did he kill her or did he not? Did someone else kill her?
Mm-hmm.
You're never assuming she's alive.
Yeah. That's
Well,
right.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either. And in fact, the whole coolness about that movie... First of all, Gone Girl...
Well, other than the fact that it flips between the narrators, right? That does add an element of what the fuck is going on here.
Yes. Which I would thought you'd hate. The flipping... Because you...
No, it's okay in a film which does it consistently. It's
Yeah.
not okay in Forrest Gump, which does it as a crutch for a shit-out script.
I love referencing that with you. Okay, cool. No, good call. I love Gone Girl.
No!
That was my reaction watching Forrest Gump. It was not my reaction.
Didn't bother
watching
me
Gone
or
Girl.
most people on the planet at all. So, all right.
Pretty much, I give it away. Like, obviously,
I thought what you were going to say about Gone Girl
Yep.
is what happens to Ben Affleck at the end, and we all know what happens to Ben Affleck.
Oh,
at the
he
end.
got shafted.
The same as all men. He stays married to her until he dies. Miserable and fucked in the head.
Whoop!
Oh, what? You want a fairy tale where the guy cut free and went to Cabo for the rest of his life? No, that didn't happen. Oh, shit. Okay.
my silence speaks volumes. Moving on, sir. You're number 6.
Nice. Now, at number 6, we come to the obligatory moment in the podcast where I talk about shit. Everyone, there was a movie called Demolition Man.
Oh, I'm so glad. On my honorable mentions.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Now, the movie had Sly Stallone and Wesley Snipes in it, playing each other's opposite number, as people who were already in the future go further into the future by getting cryo-frozen, and then shit goes down.
Was the future 2020, or am I mistaking that?
I reckon it was like 2006.
It was pretty close.
It was like anyway, a recurring joke in the movie is where in the future, where Sly does not know how, because in the future they don't swear and all sorts of shit, like all kinds of weird shit happens, and he goes in
where Wayne has had a stroke out of trying to
you get fined.
Just hold himself together.
I'm just a homeless person because I've sworn so much that I'm been fined so much I have no money. That's how it is. Now in this film, when you go to the toilet, there's no toilet paper. Instead, there is a 3 seashells system where literally next to the toilet, there are always 3 seashells and you don't know what to do with it, right? I know. And he says back in 93, he was making jokes about being too old for that shit. And he was like,
so Sly somewhere confirmed.
Did.
Good.
Everyone, here's how you use... This is weird, okay? Because there's no way
this makes no sense.
There's no way this is more fucking efficient than paper, all right?
You can tell this up this really...
Paul's actually cringing right now. I wish you could all see it. All right. Stallone himself answered in a Q&A in 2006. Hey,
I didn't have a problem with my kid's shit when she was a baby.
Well, I think you're as a human you are immune to that. It's like when
but generally shit talk and anal talk, I have a problem.
I know.
I'm admitting it here.
I know.
Live on air.
Paul's got an anti-scat fetish.
Yeah.
Like there you go. Non-fetish. What do you call it? Apprehension. I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway, Sly says that the 2 shells are held like chopsticks and used to grip and scrape the shit from your ass, and the remainder is scooped up with the 3rd shell.
Oh no, I thought it was scooped into the 3rd shell, as in like you go.
Oh really?
Drop into that one and then go back for more.
Oh, well, what I've got here is that you use 2 shells.
Either way,
like
it's
that.
wrong.
It's wrong because why would you pick up? Why would you scrape your asshole?
How is that better, future? How is that fucking better?
Not. And by the way, I'm thinking about getting one of those Japanese toilets that squirt water around your asshole.
That's better.
That's great because
that would have been a funny joke in Demolition Man.
Exactly, but
what's this button do? Oh, that fires water into my girl parts.
If you introduced in Demolition Man that there was a squirt, everyone would know how it works.
Anyone who's used a Japanese toilet knows that joke now and gets it.
I've been told the friend of ours, Inkster, who has married to a Japanese girl and has been in Japan a lot and constantly says that we are animals for using paper on our assholes.
I'm sure he will view this as vindication.
Well, I say, just the idea of warm water flushing up in your ass, it's something you got to get used to, but I would get used to it very
I'm used to it now.
Are you?
Yep.
Do you have it a lot?
Well, not anymore because I'm not in Japan. But when I was in Japan, every time.
Are you kidding me? By the second one, I'd be sitting there going, "I'm gonna drop a deuce just to have water in my ass or around my ass."
I must admit, I got used to it.
Of course you did.
I've been to Japan 7 or 8 times. The first 4 times, like, nope.
Let me ask you something.
My ass is virginal. Not even water's been spouted up there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, are you?
It has not transformed into anything else. Let me be clear.
The question is, after the water is shot around your hole and cleans it all up,
you still got a pat.
You still go the wipe.
You still got a pat.
You still go the wipe.
No, what? Pat.
Some units have a fucking air dryer, like a hairdryer.
Doesn't matter. It takes forever.
Does it?
It takes forever. You press that button.
So you go the swipe first.
You may as well be like having a cup of tea on the toilet.
Oh, really?
It takes that long.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking.
Or at least with my dank pubic hair.
This has gone dark. It's gone dark as Paul's pubic hair.
That's my pubic hair.
You know what? That's good.
Time for the next level. Forced laughing.
Fuck off! This sounded shit. See, now it's not working. You're a cunt. All right? Fuck you and your dark pubic hair. But by the way, when you're using paper to dry instead of clean, it's a much different experience, I imagine. So I'm on board, and I want to have one.
Yeah, but don't think for a second it doesn't have like smatterings of shit on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like it blows it off 100%.
I thought the whole idea of this shh was that it's a flush. No. Oh, man. All right.
Well, it gets most of it off, but not all of it.
I hope no one's eating. Okay.
Very good.
Shit.
My number 6 then.
Please.
Is, of course, one of the 3 films you're probably thinking definitely going to be on my list.
Yep.
Here it is. Couldn't avoid it. The Usual Suspects.
Oh, it's not on mine.
Oh, that's fair.
But I love that. Go on.
Who is Kaiser Soze and
indeed?
what happened on that pier?
Right.
Right? And you get your answers by the end of this film, which again is why it's a trifle lower.
That's fine.
Than,
That's fine. It's such a great mystery.
but the whole film is cut and presented in a way which is this unreliable narrator telling you X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
And in the meantime, this investigation is going on that's starting to disprove it, and it all comes together. It is great.
The movie
Great
lies
revelation.
to you,
Yeah.
but you don't know.
Well, and it even presents multiple endings.
Exactly.
Oh, this guy is Kaiser's. Oh, this guy is Kaiser's. So
Yeah.
no, actually, this guy.
And then when you find it,
is
it's like,
Kaiser's
holy
Soze.
shit.
Yes.
Many a coffee cup has been dropped in slow motion.
Maybe cannot confirm or deny. There's been a film made by a bunch of fans of this film called Reap, where they did they did use the same device.
We're going to stop talking about that movie we made.
No, we'll get back to it in the
Okay.
feedback. That's my number 6. Usual
Nice one.
suspects.
My number 5, I wonder if it'll be on your list, or is the subject matter so just abrasive to you that you couldn't possibly put it on a
Does it
list?
involve us play?
It does not, but it does involve spiders, Paul. The movie I'm talking about is Enemy. Now,
No, I get where you're coming from. Go
okay.
on, please.
Basically, everyone says, what the hell is going on at the end of Enemy? And it's not satisfactorily answered, I don't know, although I have my opinions. Basically, the film was all about Jake Gyllenhaal, who's a history professor who's surprised to watch a movie when he sees an actor who looks exactly like him. Basically, it's these two men, both played by Gyllenhaal. They delve into each other's lives, and it becomes this heightened psychological thriller from Denis Villeneuve. And at the end, spiders represent commitment and women and stuff. It's a long story, and to go into it here would go too long, but basically...
Everything suddenly makes sense.
Well, at the end of the movie, when it seems like he's about to cheat or something, he walks into the room. I'm going to give it away. It's been a while. Oh, shouldn't I?
7 years old.
Yeah,
still.
7 years old. He walks into the room, and instead of his wife, who he's waiting, who expects to be in there because she just walked in there is a room-sized tarantula. It's weird. It's just, oh my God. And it's presented realistically, right? And when the tarantula sees him, it freaks out and scurries into a corner like it's scared. It cuts to him. He's like, he's not bothered
I
at
have
all.
one reaction to that scene.
What the hell? Are you?
Absolutely. Paul would have freaked out at that. And to be honest with you,
Pretty much threw my headphones across the room and walked out of there in disgust.
dude, if you're not ready for this when you see it, it will fuck you up for life. I think it's like, oh my God, it's so weird, right? And if you look back on the reasons why this thing happens, it's very,
Well,
very...
there's a spider motif through the whole film.
The spider, yeah, absolutely.
There's webs and there's spiders crawling across the cityscape and there's, fuck, I hate this movie.
And absolutely, and that's the thing.
I did not enjoy my time at all
Oh,
as an arachnophobe.
It's tons, man. And each character has two women, but, like each a woman of their own. And each time you're seeing him rallying against commitment. That's really what the movie is about. But it's told in a very freaky way. And after you
So
see
is
this
the enemy...
movie,
This is horrible to say.
no, the enemy is on one level women.
Oh my God. This
For
is
him.
terrible. How are we okay with this?
It's fine. So he's no, it's not the enemy is women. The enemy is what women represent, which is
enemy
the
is
commitment, right?
Because women are more generally going for commitment than men are.
Absolutely.
I'm even more uncomfortable with this
At
film
least
now.
the women in his life, on each character's life, and there is only one guy. It's just that he splits his life.
What? No.
I know, it's crazy. But what's good about the movie is that the visceral imagery of a spider being so stark shows you how scared that character is of commitment. And that's why he keeps going around and just
That
strip
character.
clubs.
Good.
Yeah, it's about that character. It's not a comment on all men, Paul. It's so a comment on all men. So it's...
Well, one of these men didn't get married yesterday when it was going to happen thanks to coronavirus. So
That's right. So, but you're never going to see a spider like that, Paul. It's fine. It's fine.
Better fucking not.
You won't.
Because I tell you what, if Patsy turns into a spider like that, I'm coming for everyone.
Well, it's metaphorical.
coming for Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, so that's it. Anyway, you should see Enemy. It's a freaky ass movie that, yes, I guess kind of spoiled for you, but you're still gonna like it if you. In fact, you like
Don't
it
bother.
more now. That
Don't
you
bother.
talk
You
about
haven't seen it. It's not
Enemy's
worth
great. Enemy's great.
it. It's a good choice though for this list. My number 5 is Identity.
Identity, very nice.
One of the very best murder mysteries I've ever seen. Identity from 2003, directed by James Mangold.
Yeah.
The best directed across genres in Hollywood working today.
Cool. Now,
The
in
guy
case
who's done Logan, Ford v Ferrari.
very good movie.
Right, Copland.
Yeah,
This
Have you done
man
that?
is an absolute fucking
he fucking
chameleon.
kills it, yeah.
This movie is about a bunch of strangers wind up isolated and trapped in this roadside motel in a really big storm. And meanwhile, there's this dude who clearly is insane in an insane asylum. And there's this sort of, how do these two stories meld together? You get your answer, but geez, for 85 of these 93 minutes, you're like, what the fuck is going on? What a wonderful mystery.
The problem I had with this movie, and I understand that we have, we don't say eye to eye here, is that the ending you get, and I'm not going to spoil it, to me, the ending you get invalidates the whole movie.
Nope. You're wrong.
That's what I say. That's what I say. So I understand why you think that, of course. But for me, it didn't play.
It worked for me.
Yeah, I know. And probably for most people.
Wonderfully for me.
Probably for most people. Everyone, check out Identity if you haven't, and maybe get back to two crackers here and say which way you fell. So there you go.
All right, cool.
All right.
Straight on then.
My number 4, we're actually straight back to you because mine is the Blade Runner on my number 4.
The Blade Runner.
Yeah, because
falls.
he's Decorative Replicant. Because I've seen it so many times and I've thought about it so many times. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, my number 4 is probably one of the other ones you would have assumed would be on my list. It is 1982's The Thing.
Oh, dude, that's on my list too.
Oh,
Please,
it is?
let's talk about it.
Holy shit!
Because
This is one of the greatest moments in the history of all the podcasts.
probably, yeah. In fact, it's higher on my list. There you are. So,
I am genuinely fucking shocked.
because, dude, all right, when I saw this film, I saw it as my big sister had a boyfriend. He was older than me. I thought he was cool at the time. He said this movie is shit. I went, is the shit. I went and saw it, and I saw it with them, and I'm like, wow, right?
Wait,
I
you went to the movies to see this?
No. I was just like, they put it on.
Oh.
But they were in the room. So I was like, holy crap. And then at the end, I think we can spoil this one, where the whole deal is that fucking we don't know who the thing is.
The end of the film is this.
Please, tell us, please.
It's McCready and Childs are sitting there. They've survived the assault of the Thing. The camp is burning down around them.
And it's been understood that the thing could take any form.
Yeah, it can take any form. And it could be one of them. Now, McCready actively kills the big version of the Thing.
Right.
Childs, we don't know. He just disappears and then it reappears. Right. So suspicion naturally falls on Childs.
Exactly.
Is he the Thing? The Thing is an organism or an alien organism that can mimic perfectly an organism that it takes over. So it kills the host and then takes over and then runs around like it's that, to the point where it can mimic personality, style, and everything else. You would
Absolutely.
not know.
Copies of DNA.
It's not it.
Yep.
Not them. Okay? So, again, I would assume the vast majority of listeners to this show know that is 100% the case. So, it's never been confirmed, except in subsequent game and subsequent comic. McCready
That doesn't count. Because those decisions were all made after that movie ended.
Yeah. And it's not John Carpenter and it's not...
Exactly.
Yeah. So to give the franchise life, they make some weird decisions.
Now, that to me was so fucking weird and cold. So I saw the end of the movie, and it's like McCready and Childs sitting down, sharing a bottle or something.
Yep.
All right? And it's like...
I think they're surprised for each other. Not much more we can do about it.
That's right. So let's just sit here for a while, because the whole place is burned down. They're going to die there.
They are going to die.
They're going to die there.
There's no question.
But which one of you is the Thing? Doesn't matter, because at least it doesn't get out.
Or none of them are the Thing. They're going to die. But the problem is they have established the Thing can just bury into the ice and be picked up tens or hundreds of years later and can still survive. So it's okay to just be frozen, whereas humans will obviously die. So
there's a fan theory that says that McCready gave Childs gasoline.
Why would Childs drink gasoline?
That's right. That's it. Not alcohol. And then after that, fucking Kurt Russell
that's
said
bullshit.
no. Kurt Russell denied it outright. He said that's
bullshit.
not what happened.
Dean Cundy, the guy, I think it was Dean Cundy who shot this film. The cinematographer said he lit everyone who was human with a ring in their eye, or the other way around. I can't remember now. And the Thing as without. And if you look carefully, Childs has that
ring.
Yeah.
I would like to think that neither of them are the Thing.
Yeah, I think they both survived. But where was Childs?
How did they get off? They'd be able to get off, right?
The reason this film gets to number 4 on my list is because there's many other mysteries. Who killed Fuchs?
Which one is Fuchs?
Fuchs is like the second most senior science officer who's in tight with McCready. And he's giving... His guy says, I think we should all prepare our own meals and only eat out of cans. Right? So it's a little bit like corona fucking virus, man. Like, just be careful. Just don't take for granted anymore.
Absolutely.
Fucking 38 years before this thing comes to pass. And then they find his burned remains outside. Did he burn himself?
Yeah.
Or did the thing burn it, before it got to him? Or did it, that's the mystery. But even more so is Blair. Blair is the senior science officer, the guy who does the...
The guy in the chair?
No. His guy ends up they lock him out. He destroys a radio, destroys a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to be one of us! And they lock him outside in the... whatever cabin it is, and he has a noose hanging there. I want to come back inside now. I'm okay. It's all okay. Let me back inside.
What happened? I can't remember now.
The question is, when was he infected? Because
Yeah.
eventually they find he's building a spaceship to escape under the ice.
Really?
In that cabin.
I forgot this now.
Yep.
Shit.
Was he infected before when he went crazy? Or did he really go crazy and he was human? Well, the producer of the film, one of the producers of the film, Stuart Cohen, says he was always intended that he was the first person infected on
Hence-
the first night. So when he went crazy and wants to be one of us,
Yeah.
he is infected.
So
And
he
wanted to be isolated so he could create,
Oh!
which is pretty cool.
That's actually cooler. So the thing is really intelligent.
So on the one hand, yeah, well, of course it is. It's this alien organism that can mimic
If it's
anything.
trying to build a spaceship to fuck off,
Yeah.
isn't that okay? It's like, fuck off then, good.
No, it would have just flown to whatever other parts of the
Oh,
world
I
and
see.
killed us all.
I thought it was going back home. All right,
no,
cool.
No,
Got
absolutely not. So that's why I got to 4, because of multiple mysteries and
fair
including
enough.
the big one, which has never been solved.
Nice one. My number 3 is something, it's a little from our past. You see, back in the day when we were kids, there was a book that was the only book that was R-rated. You had to get it from behind the counter. The book was American Psycho.
Yeah, this should have been on my list. That's
You know what I'm saying? So Paul says to me, Paul tells me on the book, I'm like, dog, I got to read it. He goes, okay. He lets me read it, right?
I have this moment of superiority right now because I know I'm right.
You know you're right?
Yeah.
You are right.
I'm 100% right.
Okay,
And
so-
I guessed it, I read it the right way before everyone's come out to say.
I agree. So in the movie, as with the book, it's about Patrick Bateman and Christian Bale, and he is an American Psycho. He goes around killing people. It's horrible, but it is actually a very stylish book and movie. It's weird. It's about its psyche, very, very freaky. I'm sure all of you have seen the business card scene, which is basically one of my favorite scenes in a movie. It's just so funny and so fucking what a bunch of dickheads. I love it. Right? But in the film, and this is the thing. So basically, Paul said to me back in the day, because I said to him,
I said he was a psychotic.
well, we knew he was psychotic. What you said to me was that the book is in his mind.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
the murders are in his mind.
It
right?
never happened. He never killed anybody.
And it was really, let me tell you something. I was impressed because when you told me that, I went, wait a minute, why? And then you said, because he makes mention of doing these horrible things to women. Then he meets those women again, and
they
they
shake
don't
his
even.
hand.
They
They're
shake
like,
his
"Hey,
hand.
how
They're
you
like,
doing?"
Exactly. And it's like, wait, is the author that clever? Or not clever, but
yes.
willing to risk that you
Apparently-
don't know the thing?
Apparently, Bret Easton Ellis is a complete king dick of a cunt.
Oh yeah.
Apparently. Apparently, reportedly, not saying this for the record, don't sue us.
If you're a bad boy author of your time, and it was that, it's like he obviously loves the 80s and shit like that, he would probably be.
But point being that he has even confirmed the worst thing that Patrick Bateman would ever do to you
is think bad
is
thoughts.
think
about you.
bad things.
I remember reading. I remember this was before the internet. I thought, maybe it was just around the internet. Paul sent me like an email or something archaic like that and said, look at this shit. And I was like, oh, and then that was it. So that was cool, man. So yeah, that's the mystery is, what the fuck happened? In the movie, the closest you get to kind of that is that he spills on the phone to his lawyer, I killed this person, I killed that, I killed a lot of people.
But he also shoots down multiple cops. I'm sorry. The
Exactly.
moment you kill cops,
That's it.
you don't get to go back into your normal life.
That end bit is all right in his head where he just shoots everyone, right? And kills all these people. And then, of course, he gets away with it. But to him, it's like, I'm untouchable. I'm this. I'm that. The actual last moment of the movie, there's him sipping, and the sign behind him says, this is not an exit. The idea is he can't get out of his own psyche. That's why all this shit is happening, and he thinks it's real. So that's cool.
Yes.
I thought it was
But
cool.
that's right. I didn't make my list, though, because I think the answer's there.
Sure. But for me, I didn't know until after I saw the movie.
Fair enough.
All good.
I think it's still a good pick.
No, so you made the call, man.
This
I'm
is
telling
not,
you, you
not
made the
me
call.
shitting on you, not trying to do
No, I'm telling you, you made the call. I'm saying props.
It's a very rare time that I think I've got something right.
You did. No, you did.
My number 3, though, is a film which I recently rewatched. I wasn't that enamored with the first time around. I like the film. I just don't think it is all that. And
A bag of potato chips.
that one,
Go
or
on.
the bee's knees, or what the fuck am I called? It's The Shining from Stanley Kubrick in 1980. It
Excellent.
is. What's the deal with Jack?
What it did is the deal with Jack.
So he dies in the film.
Frozen to death.
Throws
out
him to
in the back.
death, chasing his children through
'Cause he's fucking up.
the maze, and he freezes to death. And then the very final shot of the film is this dolly zoom into a photograph of Jack from 1921, foreground, first major person of a party in 1921, which just raises all these fascinating questions.
It's huge.
Was he reincarnated? Was his spirit woven into the Overlook and they
Yes.
changed the photos? But then there's the butler dude, who says to him, "You've always been the caretaker.
So exactly. So like you said, is the Overlook like has absorbed Jack?
Yep.
And then
Or
it kicks him out of Eden.
Is it some timeline
Is
thing?
it a reincarnation?
Is it reincarnation? Has he woven, like, there's a spirit that imbues certain people?
Yep. What's
It's
cool?
fascinating.
It is actually fascinating, and that whole pull
And didn't exist in King's book, by the way.
didn't
That thing at the end that he's in the photo is not there.
really.
This is a completely Kubrick
And that's why
invention.
King doesn't like it, because it changes the
One
ending of
of
his
the
book.
many things King doesn't like about Kubrick's film. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you've got something that is so disagreed with by the author, yet it's considered great just because it's a great movie.
I think this is the one exception that I can think of. There is something else in the back of my head is tweaking, but okay. The one exception I can think of right now
yeah.
that the film adaptation is considered more highly than the novel.
The other one is Old Boy, isn't it?
Was that a novel?
It's a graphic novel.
Okay.
So, but which did not have the ending with the your daughter thing. So
there's something else as well, but I can't think of what it is.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Very cool, very
Okay,
cool.
That's my 3.
Nice one. Well, my number 2 is The Friggin' Thing. So that's how high I put that.
Wow.
I told you, it hit me in the hard. And you know what? I know something about The Thing.
Shocked, man.
Yeah, in the beginning, where the soldiers are trying to chase the wolf and they're talking to each other in Norwegian.
It's not a wolf, it's a husky.
Sorry, a husky.
Sorry,
Yeah, it is a
Dave
husky.
from Super Movie Bros. Please don't hold that against
Is
my
it a
friend
husky?
here.
I thought it was a wolf.
Yeah,
There you
no,
are.
that's a husky.
Okay, fair enough. They're saying in Norwegian, they're actually giving away the plot. Like, that thing is not a wolf. Oh, not a husky,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's and
Which
it's-
is great.
yeah, because if you spoke Norwegian, you'd know, but
Yeah.
no one did, so no one
Well,
knew. Well, very few people who
Very
saw it
few
did.
people did.
Right, so it's just
That
cool.
would suck though. If you're an American who speaks Norwegian, either you were born in
Yeah,
Norway.
you're like, hey, wait.
and
What,
you
is
grew
this
up
supposed to
speaking
be a
it.
surprise? Yeah.
I knew what was happening all along. What the fuck's wrong with everyone?
I just love that people were doing Easter eggs back then, you know what I mean? Sort of.
My number 2 is the one you flirted with earlier. It's from Pulp Fiction. It's What's in the Briefcase.
What is in the briefcase that's glowing and
that
mesmerizes
Marcellus Wallace
everyone?
wants so much? What is so valuable that
Oh, yeah.
everyone stops and shits their pants when that briefcase is open?
And I know why this is high for you. No, yes, it's popular, but you don't know the answer because Tarantino said you decide. Do you have a favorite, Paul? Do you have a favorite?
I love the idea. It's his soul.
His soul is the best idea, and that whole thing with there were band-aids on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
Supposedly, you take
Yes.
your soul from the back of the neck. Where it's been found out that Marcellus Wallace actually had a scar there, and they just decided.
Yeah,
to
of
put
course
that
it's not that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everyone has a scar on the back and they've lost their soul. Oh my God.
No, but
Fucking
like,
Joseph
it was-
Stalin
it
had
was
a band-aid on the back of his neck. What the fuck?
But it was coincident, like, you know, the people who just made the morph. They morphed the legend to
Yeah,
fit that.
it worked.
That's
I-
how bullshitty people are.
But it's also how inventive people are.
Exactly. We want answers. We want to know.
Create, and it's fun. It's fun to extrapolate about this kind of stuff.
I heard a story that what was in the briefcase were the diamonds from Reservoir Dogs that they stole.
Even that's
Isn't that cool?
Super
That's
fucking
great.
cool. as
Super
well.
great. Super great.
Would love that action.
Oh yeah, totally.
Or you know, a 24-pack of Red Apple fucking cigarettes, which don't exist anymore.
Yes,
you know?
but why would it glow? See, that's why they say diamonds. Yeah,
Because it's value. I mean, initially it's meant to represent value.
yeah.
And then it took on a life of its own. So
And apparently the yellow light, putting the yellow light, was an afterthought. So
great.
so great, so great.
But it was the instant first thing I thought of, and it was going to be my number 1, even though I put it up on Twitter as the image that went with the request for feedback, which we'll hear in the Pop 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got supplanted by one which had to be on my list. So let's see then, Wayne. Do we have the same number 1?
Of course we do, because if we don't, I don't know what our friendship is about.
Well, in that case, I need to get the right sound clip up.
Should I give my 10 to 1 while you're doing that?
Yes, you should, sir.
Okay. My number 10 was the Fight Club Brad Pitt marquee thing. Number 9, The Matrix. How did Cypher go to The Matrix without anyone else? 8, who keyed Vincent's car? 7, what was Daniel Craig's name in Layer Cake? 6, Demolition Man. How do we make those 3 seashells wipe our asses? Number 5, the ending in Enemy. There you go. We already spoiled it. Number 4 is Deckard a replicant. For 3, American Psycho. What all happened with his ass? 2, The Thing. Who is the Thing? Mm-hmm. And my number 1. Do you want to give yours? Your
All right, I'll do my recap
Yeah.
as well then. And we'll see whether we've got the same. If we don't, dear God, there's something wrong with this world.
Exactly.
Blade Runner, what is Deckard, a replicant at number 10. Number 9, The Joker Origins from The Dark Knight. 8, Zodiac, David Fincher's film, Who is the Killer? 7, another David Fincher film, Gone Girl. Like, what happened to the Gone Girl? 6, Usual Suspects, Who is Kaiser Soze? 5, Who is the Killer in Identity from James Mangold in 2003. The Thing Who is the
The
thing?
thing.
Is there a thing? Plus
What
the
is
other
the thing?
mysteries at number 4. Number 3, an absolute mind fuck of an ending to The Shining from Stanley Kubrick in 1980. Number 2, Pulp Fiction. What is in the box? What's in the
Briefcase.
box?
What's in the briefcase?
Good enough. I just want to be able to do that. And Wayne, now here we go. Number 1.
Number 1 is a mystery that Paul has been getting wrong for about 20 years. Are Arnie's Total Recall memories implanted or real? Is Total Recall real at the end? Okay, people.
100%.
Anyone who's-
And here's the funny thing, if I may.
Please.
I made this list and I'm like, and I'm like, what about Total? Oh my God.
Me too. This one is with a bullet right to number 1. Okay, so everyone, Paul and I have been arguing about this for 20-ish years since high school. You'd know.
Probably since we first
Since
met.
92 easily.
90
right?
it was this
Since
film.
90, motherfucker. All right, so check it out. Total Recall. At the end, Arnie, having saved the universe or planet or whatever else, sees all this shit
Sorry, not
happen.
Arnie, Quaid.
Sorry, Quaid. He sees a blue sky on Mars, this, that, whatever, and then the girl says,
Points
what
for
if...
me.
What if... Bullshit. Points for me, motherfucker. The girl says, what if it's all a dream, right? And he says... No, so he says, what if it is all a dream? And she said, then you better kiss me quick before it's over. And then he does it, right? Now, Paul thinks it's fucking real. Paul thinks all of that happened. All right? Paul is wrong. It was all a dream, and I'll tell you when the dream started, okay?
Damn!
Here's what happened. He walks in to recall to get one of those implanted holidays in his head. As he lies down, one of the fucking techs who's about to prep him looks at the disc they're putting in and says, oh, blue sky on Mars. That's weird. Very
True.
next scene.
Coincidence, but true.
Bollocks. Very next scene. It's like, you blew my cover. He's in the fucking thing. He's fighting. What happened? I don't know if something went wrong with the fucking implant. What's going on? He then uses that to skew his content.
Your major malfunction, numbnut?
That, my friends, is when the dream starts. That is when the dream starts, and it goes all the way till the end of the movie, and you don't see him wake up. Paul thinks otherwise because for some reason, the blue sky on Mars thing means nothing, even though there was a blue sky on Mars at the end of the movie, or the memory, if
I'll
you
tell
will.
you two things which support my perspective
Yeah,
of the
please,
film.
let's go, motherfucker.
One, Paul Verhoeven has said it's meant to be read both ways.
Yes, which
And
means there's
never
nothing
committed.
there. Which
never,
means
ever,
I'm-
never, ever committed. Because he's not really Scott and not a cunt.
He's doing that to fuck around with you. The movie tells you that it's a dream. The movie does.
How would you like
Oh,
to suck
suck
my balls?
big hairy balls, bitch. Let's hear your second reason why you're wrong.
The other is the novelization by Piers Anthony.
Fuck the
Famous-
novelization.
Famous sci-fi author. It says he was done with dreaming. This is real life.
Even that can be taken to be from the character's point of view, and this is what he believes because he's dreaming, bitch.
You are a
Oh my
sad,
God, it
strange
is
little
so
man.
weird that Paul cannot relent here. It's obvious that I'm right. Guys, come back to me. What do you think? I
Do
say
come back to us.
Total Recall was a dream till Paul says it was real. For some reason.
Bitch, please.
Bitch, please, mother. The movie's telling you. I don't know what... I mean, the novelization was done after the movie, so maybe you can suck my dick twice.
You understand that it's based on the script.
Doesn't mean that anything, motherfucker.
Yeah, it does.
It's called
It does.
artistic license slap.
They
You know, you think
no, there's no way they'll release a
Oh,
novelization doesn't
absolutely.
reflect the
They
script.
always fuck up, man. And check this out, right? He's like, all of your arguments are like my asshole, man. He's thinking the end of the movie is like going to be this great scene where the characters kiss. I can't end a book like that. I've got to end on a statement. So he makes some shit up, which, by the way, is still... Anyway, enough with this. That's the fun part of this show, people. This is the dumbest shit anyone
dick,
ever said
motherfucker.
in the history of, and I don't think I'm
Whatever,
exaggerating here.
punk ass
Bitch. All right.
bitch.
bitch. I'm just making noise about it.
That is our list. I don't think we do get into honorable mentions.
Nah, fuck it. Who gives a shit?
Let's get straight into your contributions to the topic at hand and segment that we call the Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Kicking off this week's Pop 10 with the aforementioned Gerald from 2Ps on a Podcast.
G.
What does he say to her at the end of Lost in Translation?
I know.
Such a beautiful movie.
It is a beautiful movie, and if you look online, you can tell they've isolated the sign and what he says, but it's better that you don't know. It's better that you don't know.
What does it say?
He said,
For those who want to know.
it was, oh, look.
In case.
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, here's what he said. He said, I have to be leaving, but I won't let that come between us, okay? And then she goes, and that's it. That's what he says. If you isolate the song, which people have done online, that's what he actually says.
All right. Well,
It is a lovely thing to say, but it's better that you don't know.
There's the answer. I would agree. I think it's better. From Gidget Von LaRue from the Retro Cinema Podcast. Number 3, What's in the Briefcase from Pulp Fiction. Number 2, The End of the Thing. And number 1, The End of Inception, which was on neither of our lists.
Yeah, I know, because I don't know, maybe it was played out. By the way, he was totally real because Michael Caine was in the scene, and Christopher Nolan told Michael Caine, any scene you're in is reality.
Okay.
Also, you can see the fucking spinning top about to drop.
Oh, yeah, so if it keeps spinning, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I'm saying,
Yep.
yeah.
Shaken Not Nerds, Duty Dutram,
DD.
one of our good friends of the show, said, The Mystery of Why Reap hasn't been released yet. Fucking do it.
Nice one.
Very nice, Duty. Brad from the Cinema Guy said, the biggest movie mystery, will we ever get to see the Snyder Cut for Justice League?
Absolutely, and I really want to.
Movie reviews and 20 Qs. This is from Sam from that show, good friend. What happened to Denny after the film ended? Did Chris R get him? The Room.
Denny. Oh, the room. Oh, okay, of course.
Number 2, how did the 3 seashells work? We've
There
noticed that for
we
you
go.
from Demolition Man. And is one of them, The Thing was his number 1. LJ Human, Luke said, Lost in Translation, The Whisper. 2, Pulp Fiction, The Briefcase. Number 1, Life of Pi, the bullshit story.
The great thing about Life of Pi is the reality that he made it up to deal with the
loss
Yeah.
that he has sustained. I would agree.
Three Pan's Labyrinthy.
Johnny Davidson, top level patron of the show and man extraordinaire, said, From The Big Sleep from 1946, one of my favourite films of all time, who killed the chauffeur? Never answered the film, and reportedly William Faulkner has admitted he didn't even know, and he co-wrote the thing.
What? That sounds cool.
It doesn't take away from the fact it's a fantastic film, but it is confusing, according
it?
to Geordie. Yep.
Interesting. Big Sleep. Got it.
Jonathan Kidd said, Clue the movie. I make my wife watch this with me at least once a year, and it gets better for me. Pulp Fiction, What's in the Damn Briefcase, and Captain Marvel. Who the fuck watched the dailies and thought Jude Law shouldn't have been fired?
Really? You didn't like him?
Apparently not.
Yeah, okay.
Brianna Petty said, Gone Girl, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is a great little horror film.
Really?
And Zodiac, Murder is Never Solved, which makes it better in my opinion.
One for you.
From the Was It Worth It X, what used to be called the Master Debaters podcast.
Tougher.
Says, does Jaws count as a mystery? Because I just don't understand why people think it's good. Mystery to me.
Boom. Paul's about to shit his pants, everyone. Let me just clean up.
Hot damn!
Come on, mate. I'm not even going to say any more than that.
That's
Just
fine,
you've
that's fine. I'm glad you
offended
put that
me
in.
so hardly.
That's
Josh Raglan said Fight Club. Who is Tyler Durden?
Oh, we know now.
Reservoir Dogs. Who's the mole? I guess we know as an audience, but earlier it's a fun thing to watch and try to figure out. It's a character to try to figure out, which is great.
Totes.
And Shaun of the Dead. Can dogs really look up?
Is that in Shaun of the Dead?
It is totally Shaun. But dogs can look up.
You know what I think about way too often? How did Donkey and the dragon in Shrek have babies?
You know me. I see a pair of thick.
The dragon ain't got no titties, yo!
And all logic flies out the window.
Smiler Samani said, Empire Strikes Back. We obviously discover who Luke's daddy is, but who is the other that Yoda mentions to Obi-Wan when Luke flies away? We eventually get our
Leia.
answer. Get
Yeah,
Leia
of
at the
course.
end. Early on in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, no, it was a good time.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Just stories from an old befuddled man to entertain a child, or memories of the most exciting life ever led.
It's a fucking great movie visually.
And The Dark Knight Rises. Where the fuck was the Joker? Was he in Arkham Asylum? Not even a mention. This burns me still. So, yeah.
He was in Arkham, right? They caught him, right?
But where was he during the events of when everyone got let out from Arkham? And,
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
and that is it for this week's Pop 10. Thank you to everyone who gets back to us with their feedback on the show. It's an absolute pleasure. We're sorry we couldn't get through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for episode 266. Wayne, how do the listeners get in touch with us regarding their feedback or indeed?
Any shit at all.
Yes.
Well, you should Google us, or you can give us an email at thecountdownpodcast at gmail.com.
We're on Twitter at The Countdown PC. We're also on Podbean, where you can like and follow the show and indeed leave comments there as well as the Facebook listening community. Link is in the show notes. Join up there if you're a part of the page, because you would have missed out if you weren't part of that page. The live streaming we did this week between Wayne and I, having a hour and a half chat and answering all your questions.
And
that
talking shit generally.
will happen more and more frequently, or at least as frequently, if you get on board there. So
right.
there we are. That is it for today's episode. What's going to happen next week, Wayne, for episode 267 of the Countdown movie and TV reviews?
Next week, we're all about the dramedies. So that's comedy drama. Drama comedies.
Drama comedy. I think
Drama
drama
comedy.
first, right?
Sure, otherwise it's just a comedy, right? Because all comedies have drama. Okay,
I would agree.
sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Could be a drama first with comedic. I'll get it out there eventually. Elements.
Right. Oh, God, now I know what's on the top of my list. Just straight away. With a bullet.
I have
Fantastic.
no fucking idea. So there you are. Wayne knows Bo. I know nothing. And that is it for this week's episode of The Countdown. Thank you so much for joining us and your feedback on the show and indeed general support. Stay safe, stay healthy. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne.
And this has been The Soundboard.
You insignificant cunt! Little fuck!
It was quick. You wanted it quick.
Fine, okay.
We'll catch you next week.
Tickets.